If this video was just one line, it would be big hair, hands and pens. Are you intrigued yet? I hope so. So, on with the story. When I was 14, for some reason I got the idea into my head that I wanted to see how big I could grow my hair. So, I did. It took about 3 to 6 months, and by the end of these months I had a big bush on my head. And when I say big, I mean big. If I stood in a crowd, you would think I was a microphone. Birds could have nested in this thing. But my afro was not one of those tight afros that you see in the 60s or 70s films. See, because I'm only biracial, half black, my hair is looser. So instead of a smooth, awesome, tight afro, my afro was loose and flimsy. And it grew weird. It didn't grow evenly on my head. Instead it would grow up and more forwards from my head. Anyway, so I'm at school and I have this big afro. Oh, that I also wouldn't comb properly because who has time for that? It was so much effort. How girls, if they do comb their hair every day, especially if it's long or tangled, and if it takes a long time, is beyond me how they do that every day, because I hated it. So I just left my afro most days uncombed. Now, because I went to a school in an area of England that just wasn't naturally diverse, not many other students had seen such big hair in real life before, I think. So I started getting asked by people, students, if they could touch it. And every time I agreed, they would pat my head, feel how soft and spongy my hair was, ask what I used to make it so soft, which was nothing, because I'm au natural, baby. And they would go away content. But then there were other people. There were some people at my school that, instead of asking for my consent to touch my hair, would just give me a quick drive-by touching while I was walking in the corridor. I even had a teacher, while sat in class, touch my hair without my consent, and I remember her because when I cut my afro off, she said to me, "Oh, Joshua, it's nice to see your forehead." I was thinking to myself, excuse me, pet? See, remember how I told you how it grew forwards? It would go forwards and then cover my forehead. Anyway, having an afro while at school was on the whole fun. People liked touching it, although I preferred it very much so if they had the respect to ask me first, teacher and student alike. I also liked carrying pens in my hair. My friends and I would throw pens and pencils to see if they would catch in my afro. Fun times. An afro also made it possible to get cornrows, which made me look super cool. At school, no one in that school could pull off cornrows like I could pull off cornrows, if I do say so myself. I would have girls walking up to me asking, "Where did you get those cornrows?" I much preferred thin cornrows to thick cornrows. I just never liked having to wear a shower cap to stop the braids from becoming undone when I was asleep. I didn't like the hairspray that was used to prevent the braids from becoming undone. And the whole cornrow look, it never lasted that long, as the braids always eventually became undone. So it was rather quite an effort to have my mother's friend redo them all the time. While at school, I also once had an idea to afro my hair for charity, and then cut it off on stage in front of the entire school. I thought that would be good, but unfortunately I never put that idea forward. There was a boy, though, that did a similar sort of thing, but with his leg hair, which raised some money for charity, which was nice. And that's it. Yeah, that's the story of when I had an afro. As I mentioned, big hair, hands, and pens. Do you have an afro? Or a hair tail? If so, I'd love to read about it. So leave a comment in the comment section below. With that being said, thank you for listening.